these hexes just go so far. So if you guys have been watching for a while, you'll know two things. For one, I love the buzz. For two, I love blue discs, and I like having most of my bag blue discs. But that's gonna be changing. While I've been a big fan of the buzz and it's been in my bag for quite a while now, for a long time before the buzz, I was a big rock guy. Loved a good Innova rock. I switched to the buzz because I wanted a more premium plastic. I was always rotating through rocks as they were beating in, which I liked, but it got to get old. The more I started to play, the more I had to change my discs out. So I looked for a more premium mid-range. And that landed me on the buzz, which I thought was the perfect one, until I found these. As you can see, I've quickly become a big fan of the hex since I started throwing them. I actually have one more of these Lazado Halloween skeleton stamped hexes that I want to give away to you guys once we hit 1,000 subs. So anyways, as of the last video, I'm officially a hex guy. The buzzes, I still have them. They're safely stored in the van and maybe making a return at some point, we never know. But as for now, the hexes have officially made the bag. Admittedly, a big reason why the buzz stayed in the bag as long as it did was because it was blue. I obviously love blue discs. I've been trying to get my whole bag blue, but I've realized that I'm hindering myself by doing so. I've been forced to put some discs that I really, really like away just because they weren't the right color. So now I can see my discs better that they're blue, but I often see them flying on lines that I don't want them to, where I'd rather just look a little extra hard for an orange one and have it go into its intended place because it's a disc that I love that I've seasoned for a long time. And on that note, I'm pretty sure I left my favorite heat back in Nebraska. I hope so at least, otherwise I have no idea where it is. Ever since you touched it, Wobig. But this is not my current bag. I did throw a few extra discs in here that I just want to give a shot at going back in the bag. But I've come to the conclusion that things will be changing. I'm not going to be keeping the all blue bag unless I'm able to find a disc that I actually think is worthy of replacing that one, not just based on color alone. So what this all comes down to is I just want to have some more consistency in my game and have less molds in the bag and more molds that just feel good in the hand. I stuck with the buzz for a long time just because I was so used to it, but it wasn't necessarily the best feeling. I think this is one of my most used slots in the bag though, being the consistent straight mid-range. You can kind of put it on any angle and it'll hold it kind of deal. That's a very important slot in my bag, and I believe most players' bags. So I just think it makes sense to have that one be one of your absolute favorite discs to throw. There we go. That's looking a heck of a lot better. But that by no means means I don't want any other approach discs in my bag. I mean, you guys know I love this Fuse. It's one of the ones that stayed pink and not blue this whole time through everything because it just flies so nicely. Oh, what a beaut. I love that disc. But also, everyone needs an overstable approach disc. This one, the Zone, I've had for a long time. Might be trying something else. I like the little bit thinner profile of the Hex. I'd like to find something like that in a Zone mold. Just laser beam, consistent finish. God, everyone needs a disc like that. I had a few simple intentions with the idea of this video. Number one, most important, was to fall in love with the flight of the disc. I've been so frustrated with my disc golf lately, mostly because I just haven't been executing throws the way I want to, and that I haven't been getting the flights that I want. It's not that I've been hitting unlucky trees or missing putts, it's that when I want the disc to do something and I want to snap it out there, it's not doing it. So I wanted to take the time to just come out here, fall in love with the flight of the disc and nothing else. And believe it or not, I think I'm going to continue bagging the Rollo because it just does things that no other disc can do. Just look at that. Oh, cut short a little early, but still, that disc turns so hard to the right on a backhand that no other disc I have can reliably do without just burning over. An Eagle, kind of that step in between your low level of fairway drivers, but this thing can do it all. It can handle a lot more torque and go a lot further for me. Very, very useful disc. I would like to find a couple of the older ones though. This mold isn't my favorite. This Heat is the one that will replace the other Ledgestone Heat. This is a 23, I think, Ledgestone. Yeah, this is a 23. The other one I have is, I think, a 21, and I like it a lot better, but I haven't really given this one a lot of a chance, to be honest. Okay. Okay, if it can fly like that, If it can fly like that, we'll keep it around. Halo Roadrunner. I bought this because I wanted to love it. So far I do, but it hasn't really earned its spot yet. It's just sat in the bag for a while. Little nose up, but that was a nice hyzer flip. The Valkyrie, been a staple for a long time. I don't see it going anywhere, to be honest. Yeah, that's just too good of a disc. Stay out of that tree, please. Oh man, that was gonna be an absolute missile. The Cliff Diver Thundy, bought it because I wanted to love it. I absolutely love it. Kind of knew I was gonna love it. I didn't think I'd love it even this much though in this Champ Star plastic. Stay out of that tree, please. Thank you. Oh, just barely nicked it. These are some missiles, guys. Firebird, this one happens to be a Halo Firebird that I snagged out of the used bin back in Lincoln for dirt cheap. I don't know what, like $6 or something ridiculous. I had to buy it, even though I've been bagging the Raptor for a long time. But I decided to bring it out today just so I can feel it and decide if it really is the Raptor that I like better or if I do like the Firebird better. Ooh, that thing is beef. Oh yeah, very beefy. That's the first time I've actually thrown that since I bought it, but I like it. Oh, Bluey, she's got to stay in the bag for forever. I mean, I'm probably gonna, I don't know what I'm gonna do when I lose this disc. I'll be very sad. I've had this for so long. It was my very first Ace disc as well. It's just too good to let go. I have to keep throwing it. I mean, guys, you can't take that disc out of the bag. That's just a sin. You cannot do that. On that same note, I found this Jet, worst color ever. I think it used to be purple, but it became this because it was sitting in the sun for a very, very long time. But it flies kind of like that last beat-in Wraith that I love. If I can determine that it flies close enough to it, I'll buy one of these in blue and I'll give them a head-to-head. Yeah, I didn't give that enough hyzer because I didn't trust it, but I should have because that thing would have got a mile. We might be seeing a Wraith versus Jet video. Sneak peek of something that might never ever happen. Found this queen the same day that I found that Jet. Threw it a couple times. It's a 14 speed, which I don't ever have anything like that in my bag at all. But it's pretty easy to throw for a 14 speed. I think as long as you throw it 9, 10 speed-ish, it does the intended flight pretty well. I think this thing can be an absolute bomber, especially if I release it on a bit of hyzer here. I'm just gonna make sure this guy gets past me so I don't accidentally murder him. Oh man, it is so flippy. I released that on a ton of hyzer and it's still. Guys, I'm telling you, some of my best fieldwork days are when I just go out and throw my whole bag. These hexes just go so far. I mean, look at that. That is beautiful. And I forgot to mention that sidewalk that's up there is right at like 330-ish feet from where I'm throwing right here. So I'm not sure where those are landing, but 330 to the sidewalk. Now you want to see a pretty flight. Watch this. Oh my goodness. The fuse is just so good. That's got to be one of my favorite discs that I've ever thrown. I think everybody should try the fuse. Guys, the Assassin has been really fun, but I don't think you can power up on it at all. It just burns over and it becomes very, very touchy to try to hyzer flip. So I'm gonna try to just throw it nice and smooth and see if it fits in that laser beam slot that I originally intended it for. Yeah, it's just getting so flippy. I've just started crutching on the hyzer flip with that disc, but I've found it to be more and more inconsistent, and I think I'm gonna kick it out. Let's throw the Roadrunner a little flatter this time, see what it does with a natural flight. It goes a mile. Okay. The other thing that I'm really loving here is I'm keeping my off arm out of this stupid position that I always put it in. I'm kind of trying to involve it in rotation a little bit, get me a little extra speed. I'm also not trying to just reach back with my arm, but kind of reach back with my whole body so that my core has more power thrown into the disc. And then I don't know if it's a combination of those things or what it is, but I'm aiming for that reddish orange tree that's kind of smack in the middle. And I'm hitting my lines so much better than I usually am. And I think it's just because this feels so much more natural than the robotic reach back that I've been having lately. Let's feel both the Firebird and the Raptor on a forehand. Sorry guys, that was probably really loud. Okay, so I like that. Let's see if we like this. Oh no. God, I love that disc. I don't know if this Queen is actually going to stay in. It seems very inconsistently flippy. Oh my gosh, guys, if it comes out of that, oh, I thought I just put the nastiest hyzer flip of all time on that disc for a second. Okay, we might have got a little carried away there. Let's just throw some nice smooth golf shots. Gosh, such a pretty flight. Let's try throwing it on a bit of an ante. Haven't really worked the hex on much ante yet. Oh, why have I not? It's beautiful. It's so good. Oh, look at that. Just slowly turns right over to my intended line, just like I wanted. Or finishing, landing zone. See, it's not bad, but I just think it could be better. Oh, there we go. There we go. Oh no, it's gonna turn to the right. Just can't figure rollers out. The Gleesh was in the bag briefly. Didn't last very long, to be honest with you. It's not that it's a bad disc. I mean, it flies great, but for one, that just didn't fly like a glitch to me. That just went straight down. I just don't love the rim profile feeling. I do get good throws with it sometimes, but it just doesn't feel great out of my hand. I do like the arrow though. It's like the OG glitch. Beautiful. The Proxy is really my go-to throwing putter though. That's all I ever really need. Okay, we got to give another chance at a nice smooth golf line with the Assassin and just see if it is a worthless disc at this point. Yeah, just too flippy. I just can't keep that around anymore. It's got to go. Keep turning, keep turning, keep turning. Guys, the Valk is just so good. I just like that a lot better. Let's try this Jet, see if it can compete with the Wraith at all. I think it's just a touch flippier. It does bomb though. Well, I didn't think I was gonna be throwing this hard again, but now I just feel like it. It's feeling good. Might as well take advantage of it. Create some muscle memory. Just soak that in, guys. So let's just get a little recap of what we learned today. Number one, let's make sure we have all our discs here. We've confirmed the Hex is the mid-range that is going to be staying in the bag for a while, for the foreseeable future at least. We learned that the Zone is on thin ice. I do love it. It is a great disc, don't get me wrong. I enjoy it a lot backhand, but I just haven't been able to fall in love with it forehand. And I think I just like something a little bit thinner, just how I like these hexes just a little bit thinner, comes out forehand cleaner. That's just something I'm looking for. Nothing against the Firebird, but I think we are gonna stick with the Raptor. I just like this one, this run, feels really nice. Like that disc, gonna keep it around. The Queen, just don't see myself really ever using this. It's fun to throw, don't get me wrong. Numbers 14.5, -3.2, so very, very flippy. And I was hoping that the 14 speed would kind of help it not be so flippy. It's actually ridiculously flippy. Like you can throw at 9-speed power and it'll flip more than a Heat does, which I just don't have much use for because it's so inconsistent. The Assassin, I had a lot of fun with it when it was new. It's beat in pretty well now, and now it's just too flippy to where it just doesn't feel reliable. I don't want to keep it around anymore. Valkyrie, staple, not going anywhere. Eagle, staple, not going anywhere. The old Bluey Star Wraith, not going anywhere. I mean, it went further than any other disc that I threw today multiple times, so it's got to stay in the bag. With that being said, if I had a blue jet instead of this one that is literally the color of the dead grass everywhere here, I would do a head-to-head video with these, but I'm afraid I would lose this before I could finish the video. So if someone wants to send me a blue one, I'd be happy to make a comparison video. This Z-Flex Heat, I gave it a chance today. I haven't really been giving it much of a chance, to be honest, and I really like it. It is a little bit, not a little bit, it is quite a bit more stable than the old orange one that it replaced, but I kind of like that it's a little bit more reliable, it's a little bit more usable. This Halo Roadrunner, absolute bomber, just like I hoped. Flight numbers are not quite right in my opinion, which is what I expected being Halo plastic. So it's just a little bit more stable, which I really enjoy. So as you guys can see, there's definitely some changes going on in the bag. I don't know what's gonna be permanent, what's gonna be temporary, but I am going to try to broaden my horizons from the blue discs. There's a lot of blue ones that I like, so that's good. They're still gonna stay around, but if I find a disc that just is too good to not be in the bag and it's just not blue, I'm just not gonna overlook it anymore. So now the biggest problem I have is I gotta figure out which hexes I'm actually gonna bag. I've got the OG Lizatl, but then I've been throwing these a lot and I really like them. One of them, I think, gosh, it's actually hard to tell. That's the thing, is like they're all glow plastic, but they all glow different colors, which is sweet. But like one of them glows blue, and one of them glows completely purple. I think it's this one. Then there's one with a green rim and a purple inside. I think it's this one. I'm not sure what this one, this might be the blue glowing one. I don't know. Might have been kind of a wild ride there. I don't really know where the direction of this video is going, but basically my bag is changing a lot. A lot of things are changing. My form hopefully is gonna be changing. I'm gonna be having some more fun enjoying the flight of the disc. I think everybody gets that bug in the off season to just change everything, and that's what I'm doing, and I'm gonna embrace it. So as always, thank you guys for watching. We'll catch you in the next one. Peace.